We talk about a 1031 a lot. Investment properties, investment owners, it's don't sell your property, transfer it to a new property and understand how that can save you money. And so it's the same thing. When I talk to people all the time, it's like, well, we can save you this much money. I get this look like, this is illegal. It's like, no, it's not illegal. This is the law, and understanding the law. But a lot of people, they don't understand the difference. So they go to their accountant, they pay that money, their taxes are done, they pay, and they're okay with that. Other people have gotten to the point where, just like you said, it's what am I getting out of this? I want to pay the least I can legally, make the most I can legally, and then move on from that. And especially right now with the way taxes are and everybody's just tired, like, what am I getting for my dollars? I think people are looking for ways to save. And it's not complex. There's like I said, over 80 different types of strategies that we use for people to save you money. And it doesn't have to be a ton of money. It's enough that it's worth it. And it continues to grow over the course of years.
Oh, yeah, they just don't know what they don't know, right? And some people are holding things very close to their chest, right? And a lot of times you just need the right people in your corner letting you know what you don't know in order to help you out. Right, because you mentioned that 1031 exchange. And once again, it's about knowing that code. A lot of the exchange that I talk about with a lot of the people that I work with is a 1035 exchange. Mm-hmm. And basically, what they do is what they're able to. So I tell people once again, it's just a tool. Like a lot of these strategies, we use products that are just tools, just like. Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson, they might use a golf club. If I use that same golf club, I would do nothing compared to what they do, because it's not about the tool, it's about the swing, right? And it's about knowing, for example, with the 1035 exchange, all right, let me look at my current permanent policy. And if I set this policy up to build cash value during my lifetime, let me take how much I put in altogether. And then let me take my surrender value and let me subtract what I put in from my surrender value, and then divide it again by what I put in and get that internal rate of return to where I'm not just looking at these papers telling me what I made. I literally use the formula that Randolph showed me how to use to determine if this was structured correctly. Because a lot of people, they get these things going because they heard about these internal revenue codes. For example, a lot of the internal revenue codes that I utilize a lot when I'm dealing with life insurance is Internal Revenue Code 72E, Internal Revenue Code 7702, Internal Revenue Code 101A. 72E says as long as it's considered a life policy, then it grows tax-free, tax deferred. I'm sorry, not tax-free, tax deferred. And 7702 says as long as I access it correctly, then I can utilize it during my lifetime tax-free. And 101A says whenever I die, it blossoms to a larger number and passes to my loved ones tax-free. But if they did not know that, they would be stuck and they wouldn't actually succeed. And I'm a wordsmith, Matt. I really like words, right? Have you ever heard of the word idiot and imbecile?
I have.
So growing up, my grandfather, he was one of those people who they had that back in the day, right? They used to have door-to-door encyclopedia salesmen, door-to-door dictionary salesman. And he was that guy that kept those people in business. He would buy the encyclopedias. He would buy the dictionary, right? And when you look in one of those old dictionaries and you look up the definition for the word idiot, it'll say somebody with the mental capacity from 0 to 3 years old. And then when you look up the definition of the word imbecile, it'll say somebody with the mental capacity of 3 to 7 years old. And then when you look up both of those words now, they both just simply say a stupid person. But what I did, Matt, this is what I did. I said, I want to know what the origin of the word idiot is. And I looked up the origin of the word idiot. The very first definition was a private person. Now, when you think about that, you're like, hold up. So the original definition of the word idiot was a private person. And what they meant, it was a private person was the opposite of a public citizen, somebody in the Senate, right? Now, a lot of people say the government still considers us to be idiots, right? But that's essentially how they said. They said, all right, an idiot is a private person, a normal citizen, and it just graduated to a stupid person, right? And then I say, well, hold up. If the original definition of the word idiot is a private person, and idiot and idiot is just the first stage of imbecile, I wonder what the original definition of the word imbecile is. I looked it up, Matt. Do you know the original definition of the word imbecile is a person without a supporting staff? Now, they meant staff as in stick, like as in, you use a staff you can walk with, you can defend yourself with, you can reach with, but words aren't an accident. Just like a human staff, you can use it to help you, use you to do things, use you to do all of these things. So I realized that somebody that doesn't hire somebody like Matt, somebody that doesn't hire a life insurance expert like myself, you're an idiot. You're an imbecile. And I'm not even insulting you. I'm just calling you a private person without a supporting staff. You don't want to be an idiot. You don't want to be an imbecile. How do you convince people to not be idiots and imbeciles and to work with your company?
So great question. My background helps because not only am I a licensed attorney, I'm a certified financial planning practitioner. I have all of my licenses for full service brokerage firm. So I understand what you're doing. I know what you're doing because I do it as well. It's a separate side ordeal. The goal is to bring it all in, but FINRA makes interesting rules that things must be separated. And so when I'm looking at somebody, it's not just, hey, we're tunnel vision on this. It's let me see the whole entire thing because I know what's happening there. Or I have my CPA who is sitting on the phone with me. We're looking at it together. So there's all these multiple minds looking at things together.